Thank you, Debbie, and it's great to be with you all again today, opening this great conference earlier in the week, and having Jim Collins as our keynote speaker was just such a terrific way to get our event started. So good afternoon, everyone. And I said wow last year when I stood at this podium about my remarks and then kicking them off, and again in Calgary. I use it again here because it has been a great privilege to serve as your chairman and to advocate on the collective behalf of U.S. and Canadian airports. It has also been my pleasure to have had the chance to work closely with many of you and the ACI staff during this year. Last year in Calgary, I laid out goals that I had hoped for us to achieve, and the previous accomplishments I wish we would build on in 2013. Our significant focus was ensuring that North American airports remain globally competitive. I am very pleased to note that ACI-NA's Airports for the Future campaign continues to gain strength, and that our message is being heard loud and clear throughout the communities that we serve and connect with the rest of the world. Our current objective to forge and develop new relationships with a broad cross-section of like-minded allies, from the traditional to perhaps the unexpected, can only bolster our message to keep airports whole with stakeholders and policymakers across the local and national levels. As I remarked on Monday during the first general session, next week brings the beginning of a new fiscal year in the United States. And once again, Congress and the White House are far from agreement on a federal budget. The ongoing sequestration does not favor our airports. This past spring, airport capital improvement projects were jeopardized due to the diversion of AIP funds to cover air traffic control operations, and rating AIP again has been offered by some as an inevitable, even acceptable, solution to bridge FAA funding shortfalls. Shortchanging U.S. airports today economically damages the long-term future of our nation and the commercial aviation industry we support on both sides of the border. While we continue to work diligently for an increase in the PFC user fee and indexing it for inflation, U.S. airports shoulder the eroding purchasing power of the PFC, and elements of NextGen remain at risk of delayed development and introduction. The federal stalemate also continues to subject U.S. airports to the alternative minimum tax penalty on private activity bonds, which only further drives up the cost of necessary capital improvement projects. But as I also remarked on Monday, we have accomplished quite a bit of which we should be proud of. We are beginning to change the conversation about airports and their fundamental importance to the overall North American economy. ACI-NA continues to pursue strong strategic relationships with DHS, TSA, CBP, Transport Canada, and CATSA, which are helping to translate into more efficient, risk-based security and facilitation programs and regulations. The prime examples of these are PreCheck, Global Entry, and Nexus programs, which have continued to expand in new airports in 2013. In addition, we continue to work with DHS, Transport Canada, and other countries to encourage these agencies to develop mutually recognized, trusted traveler programs so that more passengers can be served in the most efficient way possible. North American airport industry to better compete globally. Excuse me, I've lost my place. With respect to the ACI-NA itself, our own cross-border ties have never been stronger. The integration of the staff and expertise of the Canadian Airports Council into the overall ACI-NA structure has gone exceptionally well, and to the great benefit of our members, I am confident that ACI-NA's voice will grow even more powerful in coming years on both Capitol Hill and Parliament Hill to allow the North American airport industry to better compete globally. A major goal that I set out to accomplish this past year was to develop a 5-year strategic business plan for our organization. While significant headway was made in this regard, a final plan has yet to be adopted by the ACI-NA board. And my hope is that we will continue and complete this important effort, helping to set the future course for ACI-NA. I also indicated last year that we would set up focus groups and address certain services, conferences, educational offerings, etc., which we did with very positive results, including the decision to completely revamp the concessions conference in 2015. I wanted to ensure that as chairman this past year that I worked to build closer relationships with our world business partners and associates, as they are so key to the success of ACI&A. I would like to recognize Kevin Dolio, and I'm not sure Kevin's here today, chairman of the World Business Partner and Associates Committee, as he and I made concerted efforts to reach out to each other and forge some new ideas to strengthen our partnership. As such, I believe I can say that significant headway has been made in this regard through our mutual efforts. In this first year of fully integrated U.S. and Canadian ACI&A, it was my pleasure to attend several meetings throughout Canada. I truly found that so many of our airport and aviation challenges are not unique, but shared by all of us in North America, and that we have such a great opportunity to continue to learn from one another. This past year has also brought with it unforeseen challenges and opportunities. We saw some of our membership become extremely restless and frankly disenchanted with our organization. Significant efforts were undertaken to better understand and address the needs and desires of these members, and as such, they are all back on the ACI&A team. But I believe it should be a lesson for all of us as to why our organization exists. It exists to serve our members. During the year, our president announced he was stepping down, which triggered numerous discussions and meetings amongst the board, ACI&A past chairs, and World Business Partners and Associates past chairs, as to the type of leader we would seek. As we are underway with our search for a new president, you can be certain that the board selection will embody the excellence and expertise that will help the airport industry and ACI&A continue to grow and prosper. We were also presented with a unique opportunity for our industry this year, as both ACI&A and AAAE have leadership changes occurring. The simple flight path for each organization would be to continue conducting business as usual. However, I truly believe that this is the wrong path for our industry. There is no question that at a minimum, ACI&A and AAAE need to work and coordinate together in a more cooperative fashion than in the past. But that is low-hanging fruit, and our respective memberships should expect more from the leadership of each organization. ACI&A and AAAE leadership have met several times over the last 6 months to discuss various options to consolidate certain and or all services and functions of the two organizations over time. ACI&A presented to AAAE a proposal that would take a bold step in this direction through the creation of a joint services organization, by both ACI&A and AAAE, to represent the industry on federal affairs, both legislative and regulatory. It is a good idea. It makes absolute sense to have our industry represented by a single organization, a strong organization that can deliver the most efficient and effective services to its members. Both organizations need to find a way to do the right thing for the industry. As a member of ACI&A, and if you are a member of AAAE, as I am, you need to use your voice to help initiate changes that will have a positive impact on our industry. I recently ran across a quote by Colin Powell that I think is very appropriate in this regard. It goes as follows: "No good idea succeeds simply because it's a good idea. Good ideas must have champions, people willing to believe in them, push for them, fight for them, gain adherence, and champions, and press until they succeed." I think we have to be brave, and we have to take the appropriate steps to ensure that our industry is represented in a way in the future that will deliver the necessary results for all of us to be successful. But this will take people. It will take you being champions for the cause. Before I conclude, I need to thank the ACI&A Executive Committee, Board, and staff for their unwavering support this year. In addition, I need to recognize my staff at the Greenville-Spartanburg Airport District, who went above and beyond during this past year, while much of my time has been spent fulfilling the role of ACI&A Chair. I would like to extend my thanks to my Airport Commission members as well for their support and for allowing me to take time away from my day job to serve our industry. Lastly, and frankly, and most importantly, I need to give a shout out to my wife, Lisa, who is always by my side and who without, I would not be successful. In closing, I wish to express to all of you my heartfelt appreciation for the tremendous privilege it has been to serve as your chairman. The achievements and long-term strategies to ensure the future success of North American airports only can be accomplished with your support and guidance, and I look forward to helping advance ACINA's mission as the voice of airports in 2014 under the leadership of our new chairman, Mark Rees. Thank you very much.